In this question, we want to integrate 8 sine squared 4x over 1 plus cosine 8x. And for this type of question, right, we need to do simplification. And you will need the formula for cosine 2a. You know that when you have cosine 2a is actually 2 cosine squared a minus 1. It's also same as 1 minus 2 sine squared a. And what we want to do is to simplify the denominator so that you can combine with the sine square term. 8x and 4x is double. 8x is double of 4x. So that's why you think of the double angle formula. Cosine 2a is 2 cosine square a minus 1, or 1 minus 2 sine square a. And because this is a plus here, to get rid of the plus 1, you need a minus 1. So that's why you should be choosing this one. 2 cosine square a minus 1. And you should think of it as cosine 2 box equal to 2 cosine square box minus 1. And then inside the box you fill in 4x. So which means it should be same as 8 sine square 4x over 1 plus 2 cosine square 4x minus 1. It means you replace cosine 8x. Cosine 8x is cosine 2 of 4x. So applying cosine 2a is 2 cosine square a minus 1. You will get 2 cosine squared 4x minus 1. And then after that, you can cancel 1 and 1. So that's how you end up with this. 8 sine squared 4x over 2 cosine squared 4x. 8 over 2 will give you 4. And remember, sine theta over cosine theta give you tangent theta. So sine squared 4x over cosine squared 4x will give you tangent squared 4x. So this will give you tangent squared 4x. Tangent squared 4x can be converted to secant squared 4x minus 1. Tangent squared theta is secant squared theta minus 1. So if you have tangent squared 4x, you can change it to secant squared 4x minus 1. The reason why you want to change it is because tangent square there's no formula to integrate, but secant square you can integrate. Remember, integrate secant square x gives you tangent x plus c. So that's the reason why we want to change tangent square 4x to secant square 4x minus 1, so that you can integrate using formula 4. Integrate secant square x is tangent x plus c. So with that, right, you can say 8 sine square 4x over 1 plus cosine 8x dx, right, is the same as integrating 4 times integrating secant square 4x minus 1. Integrate secant 4x, secant square 4x give you tangent 4x with 1/4 because you need to divide by 4, the coefficient x. And integrate 1 give you x. And after that you can expand out. 4 and 1/4 give you 1. So 4 times 1/4 tangent 4x just give you tangent 4x. 4 times x gives you minus 4x and plus c. So for this type of questions you need trivial identities. So you observe that because the angle is 4x and 8x, which is double, so you think of cosine 2a formula. And after that, since you get tangent square which you can't integrate, you have to change it to secant square x minus 1. You have to change it to secant square x minus 1 so that you can use this formula. So which means you have to know tangent square has to change to secant square. So with that you can solve this type of question.